So when it comes to advertising and marketing, we already kind of talked about the grassroots approach to marketing. The other kind of marketing that's really out there is more volume type marketing. So these are really methods you'll use to get in front of a lot of people at once instead of building relationships one at a time face to face. Of course, building relationships one at a time face to face is the easiest and best way to build credibility. It's what makes the sale easier to do. But this kind of marketing is where you could do a lot of things, including online advertising and marketing to get in front of a lot of people and to have opportunities to get them into consultations, to get them into your email funnel and other places where you can start actually making money. So, for example, cold call marketing is very effective. So, if you're running a call center type of environment, then buying leads, converting leads is a very effective way to make sales. Now, let me give you a warning. This is the worst type of marketing advertising you could ever do. Calling somebody you have no idea if they're interested and then trying to convert them and close them on a sale that's thousands of dollars is not an easy thing to do. Although, in the actual guide I'm providing in this module, you'll find other people that have successfully talked about what they're doing to market and advertise that are call centers that have done this and do it effectively very well. As a matter of fact, the largest producers, the largest partners that do the highest amount of volume are call centers. So these are people that do this type of marketing very, very well. But I can tell you, we've even tried it as a company. It's a very hard road to go into making sales when you don't really have deep relationships. So even though you can do volume, these aren't the easiest methods to do. Radio and TV, I wouldn't even think about this until you're more well established because there's a higher cost on this than other things you may do. Direct mail and e-marketing also work very well. So you could do direct mail, but again, it costs thousands of dollars. Not some of the stuff that I would do initially, but is something you want to keep in your back pocket and maybe consider doing, as well as creating a good email funnel. Now, we've got a great funnel product. It's available in, I think, the marketplace in your back office, which isn't even up yet when I'm filming this video. That'll be up soon. You can also go to creditsuite.com/funnel, and that'll give you an idea of our sales funnel. That's the exact sales funnel we use to convert prospects into leads that you can
Hey, it's
actually
Ty
obtain
Crandall.
and put
Many
together.
years ago,
We
I
even have
owned
a
a credit.
done for you program where we put it together where you could use for marketing. Even if you're not using our sales funnel, you should still look at the email content we provide, the email autoresponder content, and put that together so you can get prospective leads into your email campaign. You could do SEO to make your website more attractive and to attract people to your website to actually opt in to your actual email sales funnel. You could do pay-per-click advertising, which we found a lot of success with in Facebook ads. This is what we do. So when it comes to mass marketing, we do a lot of Facebook ads and pay-per-click advertising. We found that we get our best return on investment on these two things. Actually, Facebook, we get even better return on investment than we do on pay-per-click. So Facebook, you can run ads very cheaply, as cheap as $2, $3 a day. Pay-per-click advertising, you can get started in very cheaply. And again, on the guide that's provided in this module, I've got hour-long training, multiple hour-long training sessions on each of these type of things so you can get more information on how to do all of these things in depth. But when it comes to spending money to get prospective leads online, there's two things you need to know. First, it's all about sales funnel. You have to have a good funnel. Now, what that means is it means you've got to attract somebody to give you their email address. They start getting emails from you that are designed to help you convert them into a sale. That's why you should look at the sales funnel. Even if you don't, you should at least make sure that you have an email campaign set up for them to go into, because it's the email campaign that builds the credibility and will convert them. And the other thing is that you want to follow the instruction that I provided in the hour-long training sessions on these things so you don't overspend, so you test and you're only doing things that work. Social media, posting on your social media page, on your personal social media page, on your Twitter, on your business Facebook account, social media ads, which we talked about, survey calls, text marketing, magazines, any of these type of things you can look into online. You can look into in the actual training that we provide, the document I'm providing that gives you a lot more extensive information in these magazines. Even newspapers are very good. On the actual training document that has a bunch of videos for advertising and marketing that's in this training section, you're actually able to also find how to run small ads. Okay, so you can run small ads for 60 bucks in local newspaper type publications to get really good response. So again, I'm not saying it's in this particular step, but somewhere in this module of advertising and marketing, I'm going to have a document that'll give you even more information on this. Not just me talking about stuff that may work, but interviews with a lot of our partners that have done these things successfully, mapping out exactly how they're doing it. Craigslist advertising, yard signs, very effective things that you could do to start making money, again, in with masses, where you're running ads, where you're spending money to attract people. Myself personally, this is what I would do if I were you when it comes to marketing strategy. First, I would develop my map, which we've talked about in previous video. Okay, on top of developing my map, I would then put together a plan to get the amount in front of the amount of people I want to get into. And this is what it would be. I would go to 3 networking events every single week. I would put together at least an hour a day to go out talking to a potential affiliates without a question. I would start planning my very first seminar, and when I'm at networking events and when I'm out talking to affiliates, I would have flyers I can hand out to promote that actual seminar. I would then start posting on my social media, my personal social media page. I would start promoting that I offer business credit financing, and I would also promote that I am doing a seminar and start promoting the seminar that way. That's what I would do to start initially getting customers in the door. Then I would start messing around a little, spending a little bit of money online. I would start with pay-per-click. I would start with Facebook. I would start with Facebook first. If I had a little bit more money to spend, I would start with pay-per-click as well. And again, I would dive into the training that I'm providing, which is more extensive. It teaches you how to do these things. I would also find some of the local neighborhood type of publications around me that I could get into for less than 100 bucks, and I would look into actually running ads in those. The Chamber of Commerce here in Florida is cheap. It's like 150 bucks to get a full page ad in their yearly publication. So stuff like that, a little newspaper, like, so for example, where I live, we get these neighborhood news that says everything that's going on kind of in our community. Those type of publications are good. You can spend a little bit of money and get some ads out there. That's exactly what I would do. I would be going to networking events. I would be working on an hour a day with affiliates. I would be doing an actual seminar. Then I would start running some ads in a small publication that's cheap, as well as trying out some Facebook ads as well. If you're developing that kind of strategy, you're probably going to be able to get to the numbers you want to get to very quickly. Remember, this is all about getting in front of people, because that's what it comes down to. What do you do now? Well, don't get overwhelmed, okay? That's exactly what you don't want to do. You need to immediately get started with talking with customers about business credit financing. As I've said before, probably multiple times, the only thing that matters here is that you talk to people. If you get out every day, you went out and all you did all day was talk to people, you'd make a sale. I don't care how horrible of a salesperson you were. If all you did all day every day was talk to entrepreneurs, you'd make a sale a day. And if you made a sale a day and you worked 5 days a week, and that's 5 sales, and you did that, every week, well, then that's about 20 sales a month. I mean, that could very well pay you $40, $50, $60,000 a month. I mean, you could probably live the life you dreamed of. Maybe not. Maybe you want to make a lot more, but you could still live a great life if you did that. So it all comes down to one variable. You got to get in front of as many people and talk to them as possible. And then once you start finding some success with that and what works, well, then you can hire a salesperson, train them to do what you're doing, get them on the streets, get used to training them, and then in doing so, then you can start training more, hiring more, and start expanding out. And that's how you scale. You first get out there and you test to see what works for you, how to get leads. Then you bring another salesperson in and teach them how to do what you're doing. Okay, then the next step is, then once they're out there and successfully doing it and you're seeing what they're doing is working, you hire more people. That's how you go from a concept that you're testing to actually scaling. It's a very, very good strategy to develop. Your success and income are 100% determined on how many people you talk to, period. That's all it comes down to. So right now, you got to get out there and start talking to people. You should plan on talking to 4 or 5 people a day about business credit, no matter how you do it. And then while you're out physically at networking events and getting affiliates and building relationships, you can focus at the same time on some of the cheaper marketing strategies that are more scalable, that can make you money. Remember, the only variable in what determines your success or failure really comes down to how many people you're actually talking to. You do this one thing, success is imminent. It really is. I mean, you're not
Hello,
going to
everyone, and
fail if
welcome
you
to
get
this.
out there and talk to 4 or 5 people a day. If every single day religiously you talk to 5 people a day, you're going to be successful with selling business credit. It all comes down to that one variable. All the advertising and marketing strategies you're going to learn in this step, it really all comes down to you getting in front of people. If you get in front of people, you're going to be successful, especially now that you've went through this preliminary training, and especially now as you dive in and see the massive amount of resources and training that we provide you to help ensure you're successful. So make sure you locate the document in this module that gives you more training on how to advertise and market. Make sure you develop your map so you know what your goal is of how much money you want to make, and then you start using the training that we're providing to develop a marketing strategy to get out there and start making money. And most importantly, right now, without question, you need to get out there and start talking to people about business credit financing. That one thing will ultimately determine your success. So I hope you've enjoyed this training process. You now know everything you need to know to get out there and successfully offer business credit and financing. So now make sure, if you haven't already, you take your first action step and get out there and start talking to as many people as you can so you can start making a lot of money with business credit and financing.